we need to talk about cats. Wow. I mean, holy hell, this is like really something. Like, what a horrible tragedy, but what a wonderful triumph. I mean, what the hell is this? How did we get here? How did I get here? Well, to answer that question, we have to rewind. We gotta go all the way back to the far, far distant past of the early 2000s. So when I was a kid, I had like this Barney's Great Adventure VHS, and I would never skip through the previews. I don't know why. I think it was like part of like the movie-going experience for me. But one of the previews was for this play, Cats.
Open your eyes. And
I would watch that preview like every single day for a year, and I kept having this one single thought. What the f was that? What the f was that? That's what my little 6-year-old brain would think. I thought that. I really did. And over time, as I got older, the memory of cats just kind of faded away from my mind, just lost at the deepest, darkest pits of my subconscious. But then, almost 20 years later, during the hot, hot summer of 2019, there was a mysterious chill in the air. A storm was steadfast approaching. As everyone woke up one early July morning, the world turned on their computers and witnessed a dark, dark trailer with a dark, dark purpose. The horror, the vulgarity,
the audacity, the unmitigated gall.
The reaction was the same nationwide. This was the ugliest trailer that we have ever seen. I mean, holy shit, this thing was scary. Like, we all gave our collective apologies to the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer.
Meow?
But as I was watching this, I had a familiar thought. What the fuck was that? Then it set off like a chain reaction in my head that led my brain all the way back to that damned trailer for Cats. I went to bed that night and I just could not stop thinking about cats. Like, what really is this thing we call cats? So the next day, I just bit the bullet and I watched the play. And here's the thing, the 1998 play is roughly 2 hours long. It took me about 6 hours to complete it.
But when the crime's discovered, then my cavity's not there.
I couldn't stop just pausing the play and like rethinking my life. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Right? Like it's so weird, but like after I finally was able to finish the play, I kind of was just like, what? So I had to Google the plot of the play, and apparently it's about a tribe of cats, the Jellicle cats, who meet like once a year, and they hang out and they choose the assisted suicide cat of the year. It's like a Grammy thing. You have to be nominated to be the suicide cat of the year. So then I just kind of like just threw it out of my mind. I just threw it out there. And then like over the next couple of like weeks, I just kept having this thought. I kept thinking about the play over and over and over again. And then I thought, do I love cats? So I bit the bullet again. I just watched the whole thing in its entirety. And then I said, ah, shit, I love cats. So like really ever since then, I've been kind of all in on the whole cats thing, the music. I love the music, the characters. So I dragged my poor girlfriend Adriana to see this movie in a completely empty theater at 10 p.m. and she fell asleep about like 15 minutes into the movie. So realistically, I kind of saw this movie alone.
We all say,
Oh God, no.
This movie is so bad. It's really bad, but not like so bad that it's good. I took a bunch of friends of mine to go see it. We went to go see it at our video for nobody else in the theater, just the four of us, which I think is the perfect movie-going experience. If you have a chance, please just do that. But I went to go see this movie by myself with my friends, front row, because we're going to go see Cats in the front row. Are you kidding me? So front row seats. And then it's you think it's one of those things where you can kind of like laugh and have fun. And we did laugh a little bit. We kind of were like yelling at the screen, but then it was just like this kind of like mind wipe where we all four of us like simultaneously just like faded away. And then like we were brought back and we were like, oh, forgot, we were watching Cats. I forgot we were watching Cats. It's not like one of those like so bad it's good, you can't like have popcorn with it. It's just so transformatively like weird. It's like you watch it and it's like, what the hell am I watching? How did this happen? It's almost like I was gonna say it's almost like a Killer Tomato. Like from Outer Space, whatever the hell that movie was, you know what I'm talking about? The Killer Tomato, where it would like, I don't know, crux inside me. Like it tried to kill me when I was a baby. My mother's love defended me, and now I have like this scar, this cat scar on my head, and it left the Horcrux in me. Cats is a part of me now. I can't forget it. I mean, at some point I gotta start talking about the movie, right? Let's just, screw it, I'll just talk about the movie. So from this point on, full spoilers if you care. right? It's all spoilers for right now. Who cares? Whatever. So the movie starts, and we're kind of like in like the clouds. There's like a big full moon, like in clouds. But then in the lower right hand side of the clouds, it's just like this Mufasa cat. Like this, the clouds kind of like form this cat, and go, and it's super weird. And then we finally like pan down to Asgard, Wakanda. Like this weird CGI hellscape of just cats everywhere, right? And then we hear like the overture, which is, admittingly, it was kind of neat, kind of hearing the overture kind of play, you know, in a movie theater. Like, you're like, wow, this is interesting. But then it's just like starts playing, and it's like, if you've ever heard the overture, it sounds like a cat going, wah, wah. It's like over and over again. It's super weird. But then we see this car. I assume it's an old lady. We never see this person's face, right? But this old lady just kind of like tosses, presumably, well, now we know, like a cat into the street, like in a bag, like one of those old-timey things where you put a cat in a bag and just throw it in an alley. And admittingly, if I had a cat that looked like the cats from this movie, I would toss that shit in a bag and then just like yeet it off a bridge. I don't need that. But honestly, seeing that person kind of did prompt like a thought in my head. Like, if the cats have human faces, do humans have cat faces? We never see like people like in the whole movie, so I'm curious, like what do people look like? But then like all these other like humanoid cats start coming out, like something like, they look like the swarm bugs from Resident Evil. Like they're so creepy and like in their movements, it's so weird. But then like they like start like crowding around, going like, it's the bag, it's my bag, I love it, it's my bag. And like the overture is like, it's like a crescendo, like it's happening, and then like suddenly our main character Victoria just kind of pops out, right? It just pops down, and she's like, the fuck is going on here? The fuck are these things? Am I a cat? And then they start going into their first song. I believe it is Jellicle Song for Jellicle Cats. I think that's what it's called. Where they start asking her like, are you blind when you're born? Can you see in the dark? And then it's just like, I think I can. And I couldn't tell if it was the theater that I saw them all in or the way the movie itself is actually mixed, but I could not hear the singing over the music. But then there comes another problem with the movie, right? I took 5 different people to see this movie, my girlfriend, my mom, and my 3 friends, right? So they all had the same problem. They can't understand what anybody is saying because of the singing. Because if one person is singing, then you can kind of make out what they're saying, right? But if a chorus of people are singing, it just sounds like noise. Have you ever been in like a crowded place and then just like hear everyone like kind of talking? It just sounds like noise, right? I know what they're saying because I'm a huge fan of the play. I know what they're saying. All, like 100% of the other people that I brought to this movie had no idea what they were saying because it was just a chorus of cats yelling, just like singing about other cats, right? And then during the song, we actually get introduced to our antagonist, McCavity, played by Idris Elba. And so I'm going to say this. I'm not going to be one of those people who says, well, in the plane, they did that. I will once. Later, you'll see why. Well, in the movie, they do this thing where they keep showing McCavity over and over again, which is cool. You know, we get a good like sense of like our villain, and he's like a reoccurring character, this reoccurring threat that we know. Suspense of the cats. But he shows up and he's like watching them like sing the song, going like, what the fuck are they talking about? But then they're all singing the song, they're like dancing in the streets or doing this stuff, and then they just scatter like roaches, right? When these things run, it's really creepy, but it's whatever. But then they scatter like roaches because McCavity shows up and he introduces himself to Victoria. And he goes, hello. They say McCavity is going to win the Jellicle Ball this year of assisted suicide. They say I will win it because I'm a monster of depravity. And then this is the point where we realize, oh shit, he's a magical cat. A cat whomst does magic. Because he like disappears, like he apparates away and just like this. And then these 2 bitch cats, like that's what I'm gonna call them because I don't know the actresses' names, I don't know their character names, I don't know. But I'm gonna call them 2 bitch cats because these cats, their characters they're just bitches, right? They're the mean girls of the cats tribe, right? They're just like, whomst the fuck are you? So they ask Victoria, whomst the fuck are you? And she goes, I'm Victoria. I'm the main character. I'm the audience insert. And they go like, your name's Victoria? You must have another name. What the fuck are you talking about? And then the leader of the Jellicle Cats, his name is Munkastrap, because I know that for some fucking reason. He comes out and he says, well, a cat has to have 3 names. A name that is particular and peculiar. So essentially they go into like the creepiest rendition of the naming of the cats. Essentially, a cat, specifically a Jellicle cat, must have 3 names. A normal name, a name that is normal, like Dave, Batista, Randy, Orton. And then a second name, which is the weirdest fucking name you can think of in the top of your head right now. Do it right now. And then a third name that we never hear because nobody ever fucking brings that up again. But the cat must have 3 names. And then Victoria never comes up with a third name. Her name is just Victoria for the rest of the movie. They have this whole creepy rendition of like, and it's so creepy because they all sound like the children from The Delightful Lane, right? Because all the cats are speaking. They're not singing, they're speaking in unison.
Cat must have 3 names. One that is particular and peculiar.
It's so fucking creepy. It's so weird. But like, and it added to the fact that they're in a graveyard. They're in a graveyard and it's so creepy. And like, Victoria's just like, I'm the audience insert and this scares me. And then that leads into Victoria doing like a weird ballerina dance thing in the graveyard that she doesn't get to pick another name. She doesn't have another name. She's just doing like this weird, like, ballerina thing. And that's the problem I have with the movie, right? One of them, of many, is that the movie took the play way too literally. And what I mean by that is that whatever happens in the play sequentially then happens in the movie, right? Why is Victoria dancing in a graveyard all of a sudden? Oh, because she danced in a graveyard after naming the cats in the play, of course. And then you'll see more examples of the movie taking the play too literally in a bit. For the next few parts, you'll see. Oh, and then I forgot this other cat, Magical Mr. Mistopheles. He's a magic cat. So we have 2 magic cats in the play, in the movie. But this magical cat, seems like to have a bit of a cat thing for Victoria. He's like, but then he goes into another rendition of the Jellicle Cat song and talking about the Jellicle Ball. And then Victoria asks, well, how do you win the Assisted Suicide Cat of the Year award at the Jellicle Ball? And then Munklestrap just says, well, you have to sing a song about yourself, of course. Okay, fuck you, cat movie. Right? Oh, how do you win the Assisted Suicide Ball of the Year thing? Oh, you have to sing a song about yourself. Of course, there's no other way. Fuck you, right? So apparently, okay, so you'll see later in the movie that's not the case, right? But they have one once a year. Munklestrap has been to more than one, right? So why would he think that the best way to win the Jellicle Assisted Suicide Cat of the Year award is to sing the best song about yourself, when we find out that that's not the case later on, that it's about a person's soul. The big leader cat says like, oh, I judge a person by their soul. And that's not the case, but why would he think that if he's been to many before? Or is that like a dig on the play, or is that setting up like this really thin plot thing where that's why people, or giving a reason why people sing in the play about themselves? When they introduce themselves, they sing about themselves? Is that what the point is? Is that what's happening here? Because if so, fuck you. All right, what the fuck happened? Oh my god. So, what happens next? The Rebel Wilson cat character song. So Munklestrap, I guess, nominates this cat. Her name is Jenny Anydots. But for the sake of making it easy, because these names are weird as shit, I'm just going to call her Rebel Wilson cat. Is that cool? Cool. So her song, it's fine, but no, it's not. It's not fine. It's not. It's about a cat whom is a lazy piece of shit for the whole entire day, but then at night she's like, oh, I'm gonna teach these mice how to dance, and then she's singing, and then she like, Rebel Wilson cat, like, also Rebel Wilson is not a great singer. I'm sure she's really nice, but like, holy shit. And then what she does next is the creepiest fucking thing in the world. She opens like this cupboard under the sink, like a curtain for a play, and then there are just like 4 little girl mice. I mean little girl mice. Mice that have little girls' faces on them. It's scary because they don't have like little like mouse like little nose features or whiskers. They're just little girl faces. It's like deep fake or like a Photoshop of like someone, or it's like John Travolta in Face Off. Nicolas Cage in Face Off. They just took their faces and put it on the mice, the 3 blind mice from Shrek. But no, the 3 blind mice, they look actually kind of better than these mice. These mice look like shit, but it's so scary. It looked like a Freddy Krueger dream. Like, it just took like these little girl faces and like put it on these mice. But then it gets to the really, really fucking creepy part when Jenny Anydots, or Rebel Wilson Cat, then introduced like, yeah, I also teach roaches how to dance. And then we see like this tribe or like this huge line of roaches, right? Just kind of like go across the kitchen table. And then we do a zoom in and they're like Rockettes, but they have Rockettes faces, but there's millions of them because there are roaches. And it creeps me the fuck out because they're just like singing, they're just like, it's so fucking creepy. But then the weird thing is, if she sees that a roach isn't doing well enough, she'll just like just smash it and then start eating it. But you establish that it's a person with a face. And you're just like willy-nilly just eating this thing. It's just like a person with a face, and now you're eating them. But then another instance of the movie taking the play too literally is when she does this thing where she unzips her fur to reveal more fur beneath her. It's like that weird moment from like The Wiz when everyone's like just unzipping their something like and like she's like unzipping herself. Like if you like unzipped your skin from here, but then it was just you underneath wearing a different outfit. That's what she does. That's what she does. She takes her skin and just unzips herself, and then just like it's like more of her underneath, but she's wearing like different clothes. And like she's like just starts tap dancing and like doing this thing, and then Victoria Cat, she's like, why does she want another life? Why does she want the Assisted Suicide Cat of the Year award? Why does she want to be reborn into another life? This life is kind of cool as shit. And admittingly, it does look for a cat in this universe like, yeah, she seems happy. Why does she want another life? And then Rebel Wilson Cat is just like, I need to get out of this kitchen. Bitch, the window's open. You can just leave. You don't need to go to the Assisted Suicide Cat of the Year award. You can just leave right now. Go forever. And then her horrifying song is over. And you think that fever dream is over. And then Jason Derulo Cat, whose name is the Rum Tum Tugger, but for prosperity, I'm going to go ahead and call him Jason Derulo Cat. And then he's wearing a fur coat, right? So why do cats wear fur coats? Presumably they're not made of cats, but why are they still wearing fur? So that's like me, like if I was wearing this shirt or this jacket, or a jacket that had like flesh on it. It was the flesh of something. Maybe not be human flesh, but it's the flesh of something. That shit's weird. I was really excited for the soundtrack for the movie. I really was. Because it's like, I love the songs from the play, and like hearing like a modern version update of them would have been really cool. But no, like his song is like one of the worst ones, like the worst renditions. It's so bad. It starts off with Rebel Wilson singing the part. I don't know if Tom Hooper thought that the Rum Tum Tugger Jason Derulo Cat was just bipolar, I guess, because the idea of Rum Tum Tugger, well, first off, Rum Tum Tugger is, in fact, the cat whom fucks. And so the cat whom fucks, Jason Derulo Cat, he's singing the song about how if he's offered one thing, he wants another. If he's offered that thing, he wants the previous thing. I guess he's like one of those cats that you kind of have, like if you put like a glass jar or like something on like a shelf, he'll just like knocks it over, right? He's not satisfied by anything. But I guess the way Tom Hooper interpreted that was just that he is a bipolar cat who doesn't know what he wants. Because at some point you saw it in the trailer, probably if you saw the trailer, he just screams, milk! And the reason why is because he's singing in a milk bar, and at some point he goes, no more milk. Milk! And then he goes back and gets some more milk. But anyway, so the weird thing about the Rum Tum Tugger Jason Derulo Cat, the cat whom fucks, is all the other cats, they want that Rum Tum Tugger. They want that Jason Derulo Cat. They want to fuck him. He is the cat who's like, he's kind of like a rock star. Everyone just kind of wants to be with him, right? Everyone wants to kind of like, ooh. Jason Derulo Cat, what's good? What's happening, fam? And then all the female cats, like all the kittens are like, oh my god, Jason Derulo Cat is so hot. But again, like he's like, Victoria, girl, I wanna cat you up. But at the end of the song, he decides like, nah, screw it, I'm a cat, I'm weird. And like he runs out of the milk bar with his weird human legs, and then he looks at the camera and he goes, meh, and then like runs away. And then we see like him like run down the street like in a wide shot. It's so funny because it's like this human thing's going like blah, 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 blah. And that's when we get introduced to Jennifer Hudson Cat, also known as Grisabella, but for prosperity we call her Jennifer Hudson Cat. And then it was brought to my attention, why was Grisabella not the main character of the movie? You'll see what I'm talking about a little later on, but let me say this for right now. Why did they pick Victoria? Like, they could have had like a wide cast of all these cat characters, and they were looking at the cast going like, nah, no, nope, yeah, oh, this bitch. And then she starts singing her song about how lonely she is and everything's bad and crappy. I just want to be loved and everyone, and everything should be totally cool. Shut the fuck up, Grisabella! Like, everyone's just a complete asshole to her. She's clearly like this, like she's disheveled. She doesn't seem like a bad cat, but I guess at least in the movie, they kind of explain why they're kind of a bitch to her. It's because she used to run with McCavity. Whatever that means. They never explain what she did. Did she, like, do drugs with him? Did she run? Was she a mule? Was he her pimp? Like, what does it mean to run with McCavity? Whatever, I don't know. And then every time she sings, like, Jennifer Hudson's a great singer. There's no denying that, right? But such emotion. I think her and a few other people, I'll get into them later, forgot they were in Cats and are trying. But, like, she's, like, acting like she's so, like, sad and disheveled and almost, like, she's, like, bawling her eyes out. But then, like, there's, like, this constant booger. It's like, she keeps popping up later. And then, like, this booger keeps popping up. Like, the booger should have got a credit. Like, this booger is, like, the only constant in the movie Cats. And, like, it's this booger. Just, like, it's so there. And it's so shiny and glossy. And you can't ignore it. Like, either she, like, had, like, the great acting chops to, like, put the booger in, like, post, like, or during the shoot, like, and this was, like, just crying, or somebody had to painstakingly CGI that booger coming out of her nose every time she popped up on screen. It's just funny to think about. I don't know. And then we get into Bustopher Jones, played by James Corden, so we're going to call him the James Corden cat. So his gimmick is he's a fancy, well-to-do cat. He's wearing, like, spats. He has, like, a top hat and, like, a little coat. But then, again, it brings up the point of, like, why do you wear clothes if the fur underneath you looks like the clothes you're wearing? Wouldn't it have been way more clever to have, like, their coats be their coats? You know, like, what, like, so, like, if I mean, James Corden's cat, like, his fur underneath just matches, like, a tuxedo, so why do he have to wear clothes? It looks weird, because in 1 second, he's wearing the clothes, like, the hat and, like, the coat, but then in the next, when he goes inside, he's just naked. So when you put clothes on a character, and then you just take it off, they just look really naked. So think of, like, Brian from Family Guy, like, technically he's naked, but he's wearing a collar. If you take the collar off, he just looks really naked. Same thing for Scooby-Doo. If you take the collar off, he's just naked. If you put these cats in clothes, and then you take off the clothes and they're just cats, then they look naked and it's weird. So his whole gimmick is that I want to be reborn a skinny cat because he's a fat cat. He's like a big fat wealthy cat. But he's a fat cat, and his dream to go to the Assisted Suicide Cat of the Year award is he wants to be reborn as a skinny cat. Which I guess is more of an explanation, I guess, than what we've gotten in previous iterations, but it's just like you can do anything. So then during his song, apparently McCavity just shows up to Rebel Wilson Cat and he goes, "Oh, Rebel Wilson Cat, I'm a huge fan. Your name should be on posters." And then she goes, "Huh." And then McCavity's wanted poster is like right fucking there, and she goes, "Oh shit." And then like he like Thanos hers away. Like he just like the Thanos snap, and like she just like disappears. And that's when we get the first hint of a magical cat ability, is that he's able to like Thanos people away. And it's fucking weird because like it's not as like weird as a Thanos snap, but they like do like this weird tornado thing and then they disappear. But like he says like this catchphrase like he's Shazam. He goes, "McCavity, inevitable." Wow. and then Bustopher Jones like finishes this song about how he wants to be how he's a fat cat and he's happy to be a fat cat. Which again, why does he want to be reborn if he's happy about whatever? Fuck, I don't care. But at some point during the song, they do like this weird catapult thing where they catapult him in the air, and then like he does like a nut shot. This movie needs, for whatever reason, of course this movie does a nut shot. Why wouldn't it? But like on a cat, which is like, can you imagine like their creepy little tiny little balls getting whatever. But then like he falls in like this tube, and then there's the Rum Tum Tugger, the cat who fucks Jason Derulo cat, hanging out with the two bitch cats, and he goes, "I was having sex and you interrupted me, but here, have this drink." And then he's drinking like this champagne, but like the worst CGI'd champagne, like just directly into his mouth, and he's going, but then he goes back to singing the song, and then he's finally finished, and then like McCavity goes, "You look famished, dear boy. Why don't you take a seat? Why don't you have some of this food I've laid out for you?" And then everyone's like, "Oh, fuck, it's McCavity. He's right there. We're so fucking scared. He's so weird." But then Bustopher Jones is so fat and hungry, he's like, And then like he jumps in the food pile, and then it turns out it's like just a giant hole, and he gets taken by McCavity, and he goes, McCavity, and then like just disappears. And then everyone kind of scatters and flees, and except Victoria, she's like, I'm an outlier. And then like she gets picked up by Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer. So the gimmick with these cats is that they're cat burglars. Well, if you like to think of them like Jesse and James from Pokemon, I don't know the actor and the actress name. We can just call them James and Jesse Cat. So James and Jesse Cat, they're just like, oh, your friends left you. Well, why don't you hang out with us? We're Mungo Jerry, Rumpelteazer. We're a notorious couple of cats. And so their gimmick is that they're cat burglars and they kind of go around, but they sing this song. It's so fucking long to the point where you're like, I get it, you're a cat who steals. I get it, you're a cat who steals. I get it, you're a cat who fucking steals. And it's one of the more boring renditions of something from the play. Again, I didn't want to say, oh, in the play. I'll get to that later, don't worry. But it's such a boring rendition, and it's so long that I think this is the point when I first took Adriana that she fell asleep, my girlfriend. When she fell asleep, and then she stayed asleep for the rest of the movie the first time I took her to see this twice. I feel bad, but whatever. The first time she saw it, she fell asleep at this point, because it's just like, we get it, you're a cat who steals, and the song is like way too long, it's like a 5-minute song. But at the end of it, like Victoria's really into it, and then like at the end of the song, they do like this, they do the 90s thing where they go, but then we hear my favorite part, a dog barking. Now, we've seen cats with human faces, we've seen mice with human faces. We've seen roaches with human faces. I want to know what a dog looks like with a human face. And you know what they do? They don't show the goddamn dog with the human face. You cowards. I know you have it. I know it's there. It's in this universe. Every fucking animal has a human face in this universe, and you denied me the right to see a dog with a human face, and I deserve that. What did this movie turn me into? I'm a fucking freak. But then anyway, Jesse James Cat, they abandon her. She gets caught on like a thing because they stole some jewelry, and her jewelry gets caught on like a banister or something. And then they just abandon her. They're like, meow. And then Magical Mr. Mistopheles' cat, the magical cat, he comes in like, I'll save you, Victoria. And then like he goes in and like he rips the thing off of her so she's able to get free. And then they go to the door and then they push the door closed. And then we can see him take off his hat and then pull out a dog bone, which we know, okay, he's a true magical cat. Right? He can do actual magic. Sure, whatever. And then he tosses it to the dog, and then they close the door, and then they just sit there and they go like, huh, what an adventure we're on today. I know. And then they eventually make it back to the tribe with the other Jellicle cats, and then Munklestrap, the leader cat, is like, where the fuck were you? And Victoria's just like, this shit's weird. And then they say like, well, you just made it in time. Old Deuteronomy is showing up. And she goes, what in the goddamn hell is an Old Deuteronomy? And they say, Old Deuteronomy is the oldest cat. He's the leader of the Jellicle cats. See how I just like said that? And it took me like a second. He sang this whole goddamn song, and I recognize that it's in the play, but you don't actually have to do everything that's in the play. You can just say, oh, she's the leader of the cats. She will decide who goes up to the Heaviside Lair, the Cat Heaven, the Assisted Suicide Cat Award of the Year. And she's our leader. And here she comes. Right there, she's right there. And then we look and like they cut to like this horrifying like Judi Dench cat like coming out of like the fog, like something from Silent Hill or something. It's just like really creepy. It's like she's like slow moving, slowly creeping in like through this fog, and then it reveals Judi Dench's face. And I want to talk about it a little bit. So apparently they rushed this movie out to I guess challenge a little indie film you may have heard called Star Wars. And then so they rushed it out, and apparently they forgot to do some special effects, specifically with Judi Dench's human hands, because they forgot the CGI cat hands or cat fur or something on her hands, so she just has human hands. Granted, a lot of cats have human hands, right? But hers are especially human. Like you see like her veins, like her flesh, and then like her wedding ring. Her wedding ring is still on her finger. They forgot to CGI that. So apparently what they did was after the release, everyone noticed that like, oh, she still has her human hand. They went in and did like a video game patch. They like released Cats 1.01 for this movie, and like they re-released it. And like all 3 times I went to go see this movie, I got the pre-patched version of the movie. So every time I went to go see it, I saw the Judi Dench human hand. Cats 1.01. Patch notes include general bug fixes. Glitches where you see Judi Dench's weird, creepy human hand. Removes will to live glitch. And then they go into another thing of Jellicle cats. But this time they're describing a cat. Where they say, Jellicle cats are black and white. Jellicle cats are moderate size. Jellicle cats wash behind the ears. So why didn't you not? I know it's, again, in the play, that's what happens after you introduce Old Deuteronomy. But you can move things around. No one was pining for cats, right? You could have taken your time. You could have restructured shit. Right, you could have done this song after Victoria Cat asks, what's a Jellicle cat? You could have been like a Jellicle cat, and the whole thing is anyone can be a Jellicle cat. You have to have the right soul. But a Jellicle cat could be a black and white cat, it could be a ginger cat, it could be a tall cat, short cat, small cat, it could be a cat who walks behind the ears, cats of moderate sizes, big cats, it could be any fucking cat. You could have said that after she asks, what's a Jellicle cat? But you had to wait like almost 30 minutes to do that bit where you explain what a Jellicle cat is. But here's the thing. Nobody knows what the fuck Jellicle is. There's like an interview way back in the day where somebody asks Andrew Lloyd Webber, what is a Jellicle cat? And Andrew Lloyd Webber just says, like, well, every cat is a Jellicle cat the same way that every dog is a pellicle dog. The interview goes like, and then they finally make it into the ball, right? They finally make it into the Jellicle Cat Assisted Suicide Cat of the Year award thing. And so they finally make it in there, and then like they start doing like everyone's got to get their shit in, right? It's like an indie event, like an indie wrestling event. Everyone's got to get their shit in. So everyone starts doing like their dances, like everyone's like doing a dance. But then I noticed, apparently these are two famous twin dancers from Europe or something. I don't know. I don't follow hip hop or anything like that. But they're two famous twin hip hop dancers who are cats in the film, but they have like Sonic the Hedgehog shoes. Like they're wearing like sneakers and shoes. And then I look back and I rewatched the trailer for this movie, and they're not wearing shoes in the trailer. So that means after the fact, after the Cats 1.01 patch fix or something, I don't know what they did, they put shoes on these things. Like, oh man, these things look really weird without shoes. We gotta put shoes on these things. Why? And it was at this point where I just thought, like, why did I bring my girlfriend to this? Like, I love her a lot. She's really cool and fantastic and does a lot for me, but why did I bring her to go see Cats? I don't want her to think I don't like her, but Cats is weird. She needs to go see it. Everybody needs to go see Cats. Why did I bring my girlfriend to go see Cats? And then it devolves into like this weird eyes wide shut thing where they're all like dancing in unison, and then they just go like, ha, ha, ha. It's just like a weird like voyeur kind of like cat porn that I was tricked into seeing. And then Grisabella just shows up again. And she's like at the Jellicle ball, and she's like, hey guys, I'd really like to be accepted by the cats, and it's, I have a hard time, the memory. Shut the fuck up, Grisabella! But then she finally goes into the beginning part of her memory song, which I was excited for, because I liked the song, and I liked the singer, so I knew it was going to be a banger. She starts to begin to sing that song, and then she just starts to leave, to crawl away. These cats crawl. Like, it's super weird seeing Jennifer Hudson, go on all fours and, crawl, because she's wearing a coat, too. She's wearing a fucking fur coat. But then, she starts crawling away, and it's, super awkward. I'm like, oh, it's not. And then Victoria Cat sees this, and she goes well, it's time for my original song Oscar nomination. And then she goes into a song, which I like. It's a song about how, well, you have memories of the good times are no longer here, but at least you have memories of good times. I never had that. It's nice. And then we get introduced once again to another cat. His name is Asparagus, shortly Gus, but for the sake of the review, I'm just going to call him Ian McKellen Cat, one of the people who doesn't realize that he's in Cats and is trying. And if you watch this, you will cry because he plays a theater cat who's really old. He's maybe 6 years old, really old. He's playing a cat who's really run down and sickly and old. And I don't know if it's a joke or something, or it's a real thing, but he has Parkinson's, a cat version of Parkinson's. He has Parkinson's that makes his paws shake. Or I think that's what it's Parkinson's, or it's a weird joke or something. What the hell is the disease called? Palsy, whatever the fuck. But he's this old sickly cat who's I'm a cat who's really old, and I'm probably gonna die soon. So if you could just do me a favor and give me a new life, I would really appreciate it. And I'm watching going why is this fucking Gus? He's so sad. And everyone I've taken to see it was yeah, that cat should have won. He's old as shit and probably gonna die soon. Maybe should have given it to that cat. But then he talks about in the theater, my old theater days, things were super cool. I was the fiend of the fair. But back in his day, he was a really good theater cat actor. But then after he got old and couldn't perform anymore, they just kind of tossed him out. And he's I have these beautiful memories of when I was a younger cat, and it was wonderful. I remember the old days. These new production of cats, they didn't train like we used to back in the day. They don't understand how hard it was, but I still appreciate them anyway. But I would love this new life so I could relive my glorious cat days, and it'd be so wonderful, and everyone's crying because it's the saddest goddamn thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But then after his song, it was like, thank you, and everyone like applauds. They go like, like he goes like, thank you, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and go backstage by myself for no reason. And then he goes backstage by himself for no reason. And then McCavity is just like right there, and he goes like, oh, Gus the Theater Cat, I'm a huge fan. Would you mind signing this book for me? And he goes, oh yes, I'm an old cat who's here for no reason. And then he just like writes his name in or whatever. And then he goes like. And then the shadow of like McCavity and then Gus the Theater Cat, Ian McKellen Cat, and like the book, it records like this M, and he goes like McCavity, and that's when I realized he has like a catchphrase for every time he like disappears. He goes like, and then we get to admittingly my favorite song in the whole movie. I actually really enjoy this part. It's kind of neat. We get to Skimbleshanks, the railway cat. I call him the Mickey Mouse cat because he's not wearing a shirt, but he's wearing like this overall and like Mickey Mouse like conductor pants and like tap shoes, but he doesn't sing his own song. Remember Munkastrap saying like, oh, you need to sing your own song. It's super dope. Like the first half of the song, he's not singing it. It's Munkastrap just going like, Skimbleshanks, the railway cat. And then like everyone starts singing and then he was like, I'm here, bitches, I'm a railway cat. And then he starts like doing this like tap dance, which is actually really cool. It's actually really neat because then like the way he's tap dancing is like going like really slow, like dum, 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 dum. But then it gets faster, like it's like a train like conducting, like it's about to go like dum, 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 dum. And it's like, and then it gets into the chorus, and like the chorus is really fun. The guy singing the song is really good, but visually it's fucking weird. So what then happens is that they go like, it's like a fever dream. They teleport, I think. Is it an imagination? Is it like an actual teleport? Well, they're suddenly on train tracks, and they're just kind of going along the train tracks. Problem is, this movie has a real issue with like how big are these cats? Are they cat-sized? Because the problem is now is that the cats are dancing and they're tap dancing on the railway to the train. They are the smallest fucking things. They're so small when you take the proportions of the cat. They're so tiny. They look like little like microbots just kind of like dancing along the railway. And admittingly, as much as I really do like the song, I listen to it every day on my commute to work, it's a little long for the movie. Like we get it, you're a cat of the railway, you make sure everyone's having a good time, you bring them their tea, you make sure they're comfortable, they got their tickets, so make sure you got the tickets, but the song goes on way too long. And then we're suddenly back into the Jellicle Hall ball of Assisted Cat Suicide of the Year, and then so like he's like finished the song and like there's like this pirouette, like he starts like spinning, but then he keeps like spinning upward like Sindel from Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and then it's like McCavity's away, and then we get to the main event, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen her in the trailers. You've seen her in the previews. You've probably heard her sing once or twice in concert. It's time for Taylor Swift Cat, or as she is known in the play as Bomballerina. But for the sake of the review, she is just Taylor Swift Cat. And admittingly, it's another banger. She does a really, really great rendition of McCavity, the song. It's actually really great. Problem is, it's a duet normally, but she sings it by herself. Well, how do we get around that? You remember that scene in the trailer where she does like the little catnip thing? Catnip in like real life is like weed for cats, and they're just like, the fuck? But in the movie, apparently, catnip in this universe is ecstasy. Because then it, like every time like a cat gets hit with like the ecstasy catnip, they start like turning into like that that scene from Smooth Criminal where everyone just goes like, whoa, oh geez, Rick. And then she's like singing this song. And then like if you get hit with the catnip ecstasy, then you start like becoming a part of the song. You start like, McCavity, McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. And then, for whatever reason, throughout the whole movie, Idris Elba Cat McCavity is wearing like this trench coat and like this hat, like it looks mysterious and dangerous. For whatever reason, at this part of the movie, he is no longer wearing the hat and the coat. He's naked now. And remember what I said earlier, if you put clothes on a character and then you take those clothes off, he just looks naked. He looks especially naked because obviously Idris Elba is black in real life. Problem is, they made his fur exactly like his face in real life, right? Like he's like really dark brown fur. So he just looked like he's actually naked because proportionally he's Idris Elba, he's like all buff and, you know, good looking, but like his body is brown. But first, so he looks really naked, he just has no dongle, you know what I mean? But then he gives him part like, he's like, my cavity. And then like he magics like this stairway to heaven. He like, McCavities! He McCavities Judi Dench cat into the stairway and he goes like, well, I think it's time to choose the Assisted Suicide Cat of the Year award, and I think it's pretty obvious who should win this one, as there are no other contestants left. I fucking killed them! But actually, I should point out, it turns out he didn't kill them, he just like threw them like on the barge in the middle like, of a river, so like they can't go because they're cats and they can't swim, I think. And then Judi Dench's cat just goes, no. And he was like, there's nobody left, dude. And she was like, I'll never pick you, dude. I judge a cat by its soul. I judge a cat by its soul. And then he was like, I got soul for days, bitch. And then he goes, McCavity. And like McCavities her away to the barge. And he goes like, all right, I'll give you one last chance. Either you give me the Assisted Suicide Cat of the Year award, or I'm making you walk the fucking plank. And she's actually walking the fucking plank. Because, like, Idris Elba has this also, like, other cat called Growl Tiger, who's, like, one of, you know, he's, like, his henchman. And he got, like, this big plank, and he goes, like, walk the plank, I'm a fucking... He's, like, pushing her off the plank. And she's, like, halfway through down the plank when we see her. And then we cut back to the Jellicle Ball, and they're like, where the fuck did Judi Dench cat go? I should point out at this point that Mungo, Jerry, and Rumple Teaser turned heel, and then, like, they helped McCavity steal Judi Dench cat. And they're like, you two motherfuckers, you come here. Did you know about this? And they were like, we didn't know he was going to steal Judi Dench cat. We were just kind of hanging out, having fun. They're like, all right, we'll deal with you never. And then they're like, well, we can't get Judi Dench cat back now. We're fucked. And then Victoria goes, we're not fucked. We got this magical Mr. Mistopheles cat here. And he goes like, And he goes, yeah, you can bring Judi Dench cat back. And he goes, no, I can't. Yeah, you can. And then Monko Strap, the leader cat, just goes like, listen, you motherfucker. I believe in you. I need a drum roll in the spotlight. And then he goes like, no. And then like everyone just goes, and then they sing, admittingly, what should have been a banger, but admittingly the catchiest song, because every time I take someone to go see this movie, they're always singing it after. It's the magical Mr. Mistopheles song, and I think people who know what I'm talking about are already kind of humming the chorus. Oh, well, I never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistopheles. Remember when I said I wasn't going to talk about, oh, well, I did it in the play until like later? It's later. So in the play, the one I'm most like familiar with, like, you know, the 1998 one, the song is sung by the Rum Tum Tugger, who is played by Jason Derulo cat in this one.
And we all say, oh, well, I never was there.
But in this one, it's partially sung by Monko Strap for a little bit, and then completely sung by magical Mr. Mistopheles, the magical cat. So here's my problem with this entire movie, right? There are characters, but there are no characters. So you're thinking, what do I mean by that? So here's the thing. There are things with names in the movie, but nobody grows, nobody learns anything, we experience some things, but these things have already been experienced like by the lives of these cats. So here's the thing with Rum Tum Tugger, the cat who fucks. He is a selfish cat. He's like, I'm about me, I sing about myself, I'm cool as fuck, I'm the coolest thing in the whole goddamn place. If he sang this song, then he would have had a growing moment to say, you know what? I believe in you. I'm usually the selfish cat, but in this instance, I believe in you. I think you're cool. And he's singing about magical Mr. Mistopheles, and he'd be like, oh, he's so great. He's a great magician. I believe in him. And that would have been a character growth moment. There are no character growth moments in the whole movie. And that's a prime example. If he would have sang this song, he could have had a growth moment of like, you know what, I'm usually selfish, but I believe in you. I'm going to take the time to say I believe in you and convince all these other cats to believe in you as well. But then we could have had the second half sung by magical Mr. Mistopheles. He goes, well, I can pick any card from a pack. I'm equally cunning with dice. But he does sing that part in the movie, but he could have sang the second half after he realized, you know what? I am the cool shit. I can do this. I'm a cat who's magical. I can do this. He doesn't have that moment. No cat in this movie has that growth moment. It's just like cat McCavity, and then that's it. It's an introduction of a cat, and then he gets kidnapped by McCavity. That's it. There's no character growth in the whole movie. We have vignettes of like short 1 minute like short films of cats and their lives, but we don't know anything about them besides like I'm a theater cat. I'm a cat who fucks. I'm the burglar cat. I'm a fat cat. I'm a cat who teaches mice and roaches how to dance. That's it. What do they like? What are their interests? Do they like each other? Do they hate each other? We don't know. You know what, man? I think about this too much. Am I overthinking this? Am I going insane? I might be. I might be going insane. That's what cats does to you. Right? That's what I was talking about earlier. It's not so bad that it's good. It's one of those things where you just like, it could have been, but it's not. It's so close to the oasis in the desert. I'm so thirsty. It's not there. It could have been, but it wasn't. And then so eventually he's like, okay, we believe in you. You got to do it. Come on. And then he goes like, all right, cool. And he's like, huh. And he fucks up and doesn't do it. And then every time he fucks up bringing Judi Dench cat back to the Jellicle Ball, they go like, they restart the chorus. They go, oh, well, never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistopheles. And then they do the whole bit again, and then he goes, eh. And then he fucks up again. And then they sing the whole chorus bit again, and repeat that for like 3 times. And then like he, eh. And then he messes up and they're like, oh, what the, man? And then Judi Dench was like, oh, well, whenever was there ever a cat? And then she just pops up behind him like nothing, like a little spark. She's just there. She just shows up. She's just like, I was here the first time you did it. I just want to see you fuck up a few times. And then finally get Judi Dench cat back, old Deuteronomy, and everyone's like happy, they're rejoicing. And then magical Mr. Mistopheles is just like, he suddenly can do like all the magic now. He gained all the confidence to do all the magic, and like it's like shit's floating like it's Beauty and the Beast or whatever. And then we cut back to the barge where McCavity is like, where the fuck did she go? Oh, this is fuck you. Taylor Swift cat, come with me. Come here. And then like McCavity, they teleport away to somewhere. Remember, he said, Taylor Swift cat, come with me. We never see Taylor Swift cat again. She had a schedule to stick to, and she stuck to. It was like, I was in Cats for 2 minutes. Peace. And then everybody's really happy. They're hanging out. They're dancing. And then Victoria Cat realizes Jennifer Hudson Cat outside. And she goes like, come here. And then she like escorts her inside the ball. And everyone's like, you brought this bitch. And she goes like, and then she goes into admittingly a fantastic fucking song. Her rendition of Memories is legitimately fucking fantastic. And I knew it would be. It's Jennifer Hudson, one of the greatest singers of all time. At least in my opinion, I love her so much. One of the greatest musical songs of all time. I love it so much, is my opinion. But she's singing the song, and then the music, it swells. There's emotion. She's crying. The booger comes back. She's crying the emotion. Everyone's just like, no, it could be so wonderful. It's fantastic. And the music is swelling. It's beautiful. It crescendos. And then eventually it is.
Memory all alone in the moonlight.
Stop. Okay, good. That's pretty good.
Meow, Marie's all alone in the... And then Judi Dench cat goes, I pick you for the Assisted Suicide Cat of the Year award. And apparently she doesn't judge a cat by its soul. She judges it by its soul. And then so like they escort her to like this candelabra thing or like this chandelier thing. And then they go like up. Get the fuck on the hot air balloon. Get the fuck up there. Okay, I'm on. And then like Magic Mr. Mistopheles goes like light is lighting all the candles around her, and I guess that propels the hot air balloon like to go up and out of like the glass ceiling. And then she's like, oh, is that symbolism for the glass? Whatever. And then so she comes out and it's like she's like floating away to cat heaven. And then McCavity's like, no, and like he jumps on, like is hanging on like Tarzan from the rope. And then he's just like, I'm here. I'm in the climax actually. And then he like slips and like falls and like lands on a statue. And he goes like, McCavity. And then he can't teleport for some reason. I don't know. I don't know why. And then it's morning now, so it's the golden hour, so it's the sunrise, and everyone's like, fly away, Jennifer Hudson cat. And then Judi Dench just turns to the camera to address the audience and just says, the thing you just saw was really fucking weird. But I ask you, please do not judge it. In fact, you better treat your cat with respect. You better feed him at least 3 times a day. If you don't, I will fucking kill you. Judi Dench cat will come into your home and fucking kill you. And when you see your cat after this movie, you better go, oh, cat. And then like in Grease, like Jennifer Hudson cat just like disappears in the clouds like after floating up. And that's it. That's the movie. The movie's over. What the fuck did I just watch? And this film did so poorly. All right, it's on track to lose $70 million. $70 million. And Universal pulled Cats from all of their for your consideration Oscar noms. The idea that somebody saw this movie being made, saw how it turned out, and thought, yeah, I'd give that shit an Oscar, why not? This almost didn't happen. Apparently in the 90s, Steven Spielberg was set to create a fully animated adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cool Cat Saves the Kids, set in the 1940s London during the Blitz in World War II. But apparently that fell through due to many reasons, including Spielberg and Webber's continuing battle of deciding whether to have dramatic storytelling or to preserve at all costs the procession of the musical numbers. Meaning they just couldn't agree on whether to give this movie an actual plot that makes sense or not. But remnants of this failed project have been scattered throughout space and time like a fucking infinity stone. But just look at this art! Look at the backgrounds, the color, the character designs! Look at what we could have had and agonize over what is. Almost nothing can be salvaged from this film, almost nothing. And you need to see it and experience this movie before it gets thrown into the deepest, darkest hole Universal can find.